abode, the dreaded. There's the Osmond Shrine. The dreaded pterodactyls. It's real cool because at night the neighbors can see in and they don't really know what's going on. Most of them don't have pterodactyls. I'm privileged in the neighborhood. I've got my holiday decorations. That's the living room, and but all the culture's upstairs. You know, one of the whole points of being a musician for me is you don't have to do boring adult things, even when you're a boring adult. So I still have all my dinosaur toys hanging up, and stairs to put my slinky on, and a whole room full of toys. But for me, toys are guitars. Too much fun all the time. These pickups in here now, these are both PAF Pros, which have a nice a little bit of a Michael Schenker kind of to it. Best way I can describe it. And it sounds something like this. And the low end is still real chunky. If I do like the fast picking stuff, it comes out pretty clear. And this does a lot of aggression in the Gary Moore kind of sense. The more I played and the more bands I was in, the more familiar I got with all the different tones that you get from pickups. And, it's almost like having a wah-wah pedal where you can leave it stopped in certain places and have like a sort of a or a or a o kind of sound, different frequencies. One thing that's been real important to me lately is having certain combinations of pickups. I used to wear all my pickups, all my humbucking pickups in parallel because I got a much better, cleaner sound, and even the distorted sounds were a little bit cleaner. But I found with using a single coil in the middle that I can get that same kind of thing, even more radical. I can get even cleaner tone, which is real nice to have. At the moment, I'm using a real simple amp rig in the studio and in live, just a head and maybe a couple pedals, and that way I don't have to rely on all kinds of different channel switching, and I can get a lot of variety of tones out of just the 5-way switch on the guitar. The thing that was just completely blew me away was the combination between the humbucker and the single coil at the same time, and just leaving the volume up just a little bit. It gives you a real twangy kind of Hendrix, real twangy kind of tone, which is so much fun to play with. And at the same time, you can flick the switch right over and still get the heavy metal kind of. My favorite pickup at the moment is probably the Tone Zone, which I don't have here at the moment because it's a rehearsal. And really the main difference between that and something like the PAF Pro is it's a little more exaggerated. It's got a little bit more of that EQ kind of awe to it. And it's also a little bit less fuzzy. Fascination with old, weird, sort of eclectic instruments, things that aren't necessarily valuable, but that are unique. And usually when I find something like that, it's got some really terrible pickups in it. So I've really tested the limits of some of the DiMarzio staff in having them trying to fix some of these pickups to make them sound good. And especially because I usually request that they cosmetically leave them so they look the same. So it's just as cheesy looking as when I bought the guitar originally. This particular instrument is a Monza, what a name brand, and had some real horrible pickups in it. And I sent them back to Steve Blucher, and he just took the original outsides of them and stuck some fast track pickups in there. And they sound amazing. I mean, it's so much fun to play something like this because it's sort of like trying to win the Indy 500 in a Volkswagen, you know, but with a giant engine in it. And oh boy, every time I look at this thing, it's just like supreme tackiness. Well, this one just came in the mail today. My new $80 special, the Gilbert Les Paul. Some people from the music store called me up and said this was sitting around, so I couldn't pass it up. And a perfect example of you know, how to make a cheesy thing like this sound good. I think I'll probably end up sticking like Tone Zone in here, you know, my favorite pickup that goes aw, and maybe one of those, what do you call them?
Humbucker from Hell.
How can I forget that? Well, maybe a humbucker from hell. You see, I never remember the names of these things. I just stick them in and go, well, that sounds cool, and immediately forget what it's called. So probably one of those in here, because give me the cool twangs, won't be too muddy. Give me that woody tone, and I'll be set.